ever goes this smoothly. Still. I should skip this because there is an opening cutscene that basically does the same thing. The main feature of this is 2 players at once with tag actions. The evil scientist, Dr. Eggman. Dr. Eggman is planning to use the Chaos Emeralds to build Eggman. Like, so here's the wild part about this game. There is a ton of story to it, and almost none of it is present within the actual game. This is not explaining what is happening right now, even remotely. What is happening is Eggman is doing a chaos control experiment using one of the emeralds that he's recovered. He's recovered the shards and put it back together. And the result is that the entire world was split into 7 parts. This may or may not have reformed the emeralds, and we get between stages via these little special stage hub worlds. First stage is a city. To get the emeralds, you need to first find 10 Chow throughout the stages. I will do my best to do that, but who knows if I will remember anything. We're gonna go with the flow. The game is honestly, it feels really weird to play. It's like simultaneously slippery and sticky at the same time. Like, it tries to achieve what Advance 2 had while doing a completely different style of stage construction. It still has the same old, very rude style of Advance stuff. No, I was originally going to do that for all of the Game Boy Advance games, and it would have been a very awful, like, webcam style thing. But that would have been bad. So I am just emulating the games I do own. It's also not like I'm being paid for this, so whatever. Pretty sure I missed the 3rd Chow in this stage, so we're off to a great start there. We're at the end. I'm gonna give myself a leeway of, like, 1 stage I need to replay per zone in terms of getting the emeralds. Oh, right. So these hub worlds. And I'm not going where I think I am, which is why I'm hesitating here. You've got these springs for the emeralds once you have enough Chow. Oh. Okay, I can't even find the map Chow because I'm great at this. Where I'm okay, so we got bonus stages on this map. And these are both very interesting. You may have noticed some of the badniks I defeated had ring power in them, like in Knuckles Chaotix. In this one, they're plant-powered, like in Sonic CD. I don't even know what these bonus stages really are. They're just, like... I mean, what are any of those bonus stages, right? The other one, that I'm not gonna do because it's kind of annoying, has... it's an animal container you have to open up, like, even more classic, every other game. Sometimes your jump input gets eaten when you try to turn. So, like, all of the energy sources in previous games are referenced in this. What's very interesting is that I messed up. Wow. Okay. Is that the Badniks are powered by just actual standard power rings, and Eggman can just do that. He's never done that before because it's never been, like, an efficient source. Hold on a second. I'll get back to saying what I was a bit ago. There's a further hub. There's Sonic Factory here. You can change characters, you can select a zone. And there are Chow playgrounds. For the Chow you collect, though. And for a good few stages, we're going to be doing, Tails and Sonic. Instead of Sonic and Tails. But yeah, so the reason rings are even working at all to power these robots is because this Chaos Control experiment has distorted the world in some way. I mean, aside from just separating it. Oh. I have backup save data, so do not worry about these emeralds that are probably... It's gonna be Sonic Advance 2 all over again. I'm going to fail to get all of these Chow for sure. No. Oh, okay. Good luck with that. So in Knuckles Chaotix, Eggman was using the power of the Chaos Rings that were formed by the Master Emerald's power to create artificial versions. And these rings shattered after you killed an enemy. You can collect these rings, though, because they are natural power rings, as an effect of the world being in a subspecial state, or something. This city doesn't look very distorted itself, but as you go on, especially the final level, you can tell something's off. At least there's a distinct contrast once things are no longer off. Oh gosh. So why did Eggman do this? I don't think it was intentional this way at all, but like I've been playing up this whole time that there's been like an energy issue with Eggman being able to power his robots, as signified in battle when he was experimenting with Chaos Emerald energy to power the Phi robots. So classically, up until Adventure 2, Eggman was using animals to power his robots. Maybe inspired by the gun robot GN drives. Which this city might be Central City, it doesn't have to be. But that's probably the reference they were going for with the city skyline. In Heroes, they released these little energy orbs that you got to level up, which seemed to be the source of power. Something that was not, like, it didn't use living creatures, like animals or plants, to power. And this continued for Shadow. And it seems to me that putting the world in this state both allows him to create a bunch of badniks that are easily powerable, as well as separate everything, including Sonic and his friends, so it'd be much easier to take over the world. It's a win-win deal for him. Oh boy. Back on track. Promise it's not entirely that. It might be entirely. Tails seems to have a very weak light when he's with Sonic in this. And part of it just seems to be that it does not start flying unless you, like, rapidly hit the button more than I can. He'll, like, dip downward first. Also, the next game we're gonna play, Eggman goes back to animals, which is why this energy thing is so interesting to me, and how it lines up. That this actually, despite being out before Shadow, tends to that issue. So this is Gemerald. Perhaps you could consider them the final of the Phi series. They are built in Emerald's image in a similar way, but way more unique. And it's really interesting, because, like, Eggman's no stranger to creating copies of our heroes. Oh, come on. But this copy of one of our heroes does not copy Emerald's abilities in the same way the Phi did. Instead, its main feature is that it can meld to Eggman's machines, no problem, like this. So weirdly, it's a very unique robot. We fight it like 4 more times on its own. And it gets further abilities. Now we've been collecting star rings at the end of each stage instead of, like, signposts or releasing animals. It seems that if you get enough of them, you can traverse to the next area. And this place is a throwback to Green Hill. But I'm not convinced that it's actually a part of South Island. I don't know if we're actually there. It might be. That might be West Side Island in the background over there. Okay. I am already about to give up on getting the Chow. No. Hill Slide is much better with aiming. Okay, we are still on track. That is the first Chow. So I do have to show you the special stages. I have no idea where I am, so that means I am not en route to get the Chow. Oh, that's something. Oh, okay. We're down here. I've never been down here before, I don't think. Cool. Got it. Something we will start seeing soon, as I unlock Knuckles at the end of this zone, is that characters have different abilities depending on who they're paired with. And weirdly, the only pairs that can use the trick action, which is why I forget to use it ever, is Sonic and Tails together, or Cream and Amy together. So let's assume we're on South Island. Let's assume you've tuned into this and you don't know anything about Sonic. What is that significance? Oh, cool. Here's the animal container minigame. South Island is where the series started. It's not necessarily where Sonic is from, but it's where he was living at the time. And it was the first place that Eggman truly tried to take over. mainly to obtain animals for his robots to power. South Island was originally a moving island. As in, it was moving through the ocean with no exact spot. It's big enough to have multiple, well, 2 cities on it. And after the events of the first game, I mentioned that this island in the background might be it. The area it stopped is where Tails is from, West Side Island. So they became neighbors, and that's where Sonic's next adventure led him. Actually, now that I look at that, like, that's exactly how most things will display West Side Island in being in proximity to South Island. Especially, like, fan works. Oh, Sonic. That's where I want to be. Now, one of the key things about unlocking characters in this is you have to complete the stage with Sonic as your main, for the sake of the cutscene that ensues. The cutscenes, of course, don't seem to reference anything about the story. So, like, almost no dialogue. There's like 2 different stories going on in this game. It's the weirdest thing. There's just like a simple, straightforward whatever's happening in the game that likes to directly be a sequel to Battle. And then there's like this backstory on top of it. In from the manual that it's this big Chaos Emerald experiment that has gigantic implications about everything that we've led up to here. I might have jumped off the wrong one. Oh. What? No, that's where I needed to be. Okay. Where I want to be, actually. Sure, okay. No. Okay, I guess this is where I have to go. stage is highly vertical. Seriously? Just go through there? Of course not. It's weird because the aesthetic of this stage is not very traditional Green Hill. It's not like the more GameCube style one that Advance tried to do. But that could also just be like part of the distortion. Okay. I was supposed to get up here. Hello, General. Hey, it's Knuckles. What's going on now, Sonic? Maybe you can use my help. Ah, thanks, but no thanks. They just take this time to make fun of Knuckles. What? Wait a second, hey. You could maybe have done some story stuff. Because the thing is, what our goal is, why we're traveling through these stages, and what Eggman is trying to prevent us from doing, is get to Angel Island, to the Master Emerald, so that we can use the Emerald's power to undo the state the world is in. That seems like a big deal to Knuckles. And also, like, I mean, Knuckles hasn't been, like, just on Angel Island in like, most of these games. Like, Adventure 2, arguably, that's where he started. Battle, we've established that there's a chance that place, Holly Summit, is on Angel Island. Which only makes sense with the idea that, this boss is kinda awful. With the idea that Angel Island never took off after the end of Adventure. But it also just doesn't make sense otherwise. Like, that landmass entirely. Now, again, what am I talking about, assuming you're listening and I'm talking about a floating island called Angel Island? Well, that was the adventure after Sonic 2 on West Side Island. Sonic 2 ended up in space in Eggman's battleship called the Death Egg. And after defeating Eggman there, this thing just, like, I don't want to die, but, like, it's not doing things so I can actually hit it. After blowing the Death Egg out of the sky, it landed on a floating island called Angel Island. and knocked it down to the ground. This is where Knuckles is from. And Eggman managed to convince Knuckles that he was attacked by two evil animals, a hedgehog and a fox, and that they will probably come to take your Master Emerald, like they took his Chaos Emeralds. And naturally, Sonic and Tails did come to explore this island afterwards. And so Knuckles stole the Chaos Emeralds from them. Did I even, like, explain the Chaos Emeralds? Yeah, the reason that South Island was moving was because there were 6 emeralds hidden there in the subspace that we find the world distorted by right now. And that's where you go in special stages to collect emeralds. The 7th one was on West Side Island. So they went to Angel Island with 7. Though at the end of that, after befriending Knuckles, there's an altar around the Master Emerald where the Chaos Emeralds go. And that powered up the Master Emerald by bringing the emeralds there. And this allowed Angel Island to take off back into the sky after defeating Eggman and his Death Egg once more. Speaking of Knuckles, we gotta play as Knuckles for this zone. This zone is incredibly vertical, and also has places we can't access without his powerful muscles. I'll get back to that about his... No, we don't want Sonic. We want Tails. I'll get back to his powerful muscles, but... Just to continue the recap, while it's still coherent. One of the effects of powering up the Master Emerald again, other than sending Angel Island back into the sky, was it raised another island, where Eggman built the new Trilogy High Zone. And that island had the 6 Chaos Rings from the Master Emerald's power. And this is where Eggman first utilized ring power to power his Badniks. His robots that had, to this point, been powered by animals. Which he's now able to do, again, in this game. Because the power of the rings and the power of the emeralds are very interconnected. Oops. The rings themselves are a byproduct of the emerald's power. Which is why this makes sense at all. That the rings can be used to power his Badniks when the world has been sent into a state where you have to travel between special stage-like hubs to even reach different parts of the world. Also, they did a fantastic job, either a horrible job of representing the rest of the world in this, than compared to like how they do later, or just a fantastic job of making it so ambiguous that it could be anywhere. This is an ocean base on the bottom of the ocean. Like, we've gone... Oh. Huh. See... Now that would have been great if this was a speedrun, because I would have gotten a checkpoint that would bring me back to a place that would just be faster to do. I didn't get that checkpoint. Anyway. Like, we started a city that we can assume was, like, Station Square, Central City, something like that. With the water between two parts of the cities, it's kind of structured like that. See, I want to come up here, got this checkpoint, and gone back to get those chow. All this time, I haven't shown, you can just have Tails fly you. Because the tag actions are different in the air and in the... and on the ground. Wait. Yes. Knuckles is a power type. And the way that they managed to work in, speed, power, and flying into this, somehow, as a reference to heroes. And the priority is, well, if you have Sonic with anyone, it's speed. So he has top priority. Followed by power if you have Knuckles. Followed by speed if you have Tails or Cream. But neither Knuckles nor Sonic. And Amy doesn't really have a stat, she has lowest priority. Normally, Knuckles would have, like, a 1-2 punch, but because he's with Tails, he has an uppercut. His glide has an extra jump to it. If he was with Sonic, he wouldn't even have a true glide, he would have a rocket boost, where he just blasts forward. And ends in a roll after that. But he can't climb when he's with Sonic, so it's very inconvenient. Yeah, the next stage is called Toy Kingdom. Who knows where that is? It's this level, this world, this game's carnival. Eggman loves his carnivals. We've established that over this series. The official explanation for that is he likes theme parks. That's why the theme parks. That's why, like I said, we made the new Tragic High Zone, which is, here's an ancient island. Oh fuck, this is the wrong way. Well, it might not be the wrong way. It's not the fastest way. It's just a island-wide theme park, though, the new Tragic High Zone. Oh, I'm about to explode. Did I do that right at all? I don't think so. Who knows? Who could say? Fun fact. Very established throughout the series fun fact. Sonic can't swim. He just sinks. The gameplay for all characters are like that, as a result, but Tails specifically has was once a doggy paddle is now a freestyle. And Knuckles has a very nice breaststroke. Oh, I fucked it up. Aha! Oh. See, like, we've just been launching up this stage the whole time. Oh. Oof. Oh, okay. I got a different checkpoint than I thought. So what's this I talk about? Plants powering badniks. Well, sometime after the new Tragic High Zone event, where... You know, what I should talk about before I do that is... I should reference the copies of characters that Eggman makes, in the way that Gemerald is a copy of Emerald from Battle. Despite not really being so. Okay. This is as reactive as Tails' thing. Come on, jump. So, as early as Sonic 2, if Eggman's gonna keep getting defeated by Sonic, why not make a mechanical Sonic counteract? So he made a very incomplete one in that. A silver robot called Mecha Sonic. It was on board the Death Egg. Huh, interesting. Not sure where I am. Okay, the water area I'm looking for is different than this one. I didn't know there were multiple. I hope I didn't screw up my path entirely. Good jump! Mecha Sonic was completed in Sonic 3. Looked way cooler. Way more abilities. I never, like, thought about it this way before, until, like, I saw... Nice. Until I saw how other fans treat Mecha Sonic recently. But, like, the one in 2 and the one in 3 are the same. Just one's completed and more functional. They're not separate robots, unless you consider the fact that it was destroyed before it was completed. Finally, I should be able to... There was no key where there should have been. Okay. That would happen. Sometimes there's a key on the water there, at the very end. You need a special key to actually access the special stages. And if I'm not gonna go all the way back to the bottom... Might as well just do this one again. I want to show that special stage. Show what's all the rage. Special stage. These things are awful. So Mecha Sonic was a bust. It was very easily defeated. It took a battle against both Sonic and Tails together and against Knuckles for it to explode, but it exploded. For good. Well, while Knuckles was finishing that off, Eggman made the best Sonic copy that he will ever make. There's the key. Metal Sonic. Which is still around today. And he tested it out on Knuckles and several other non-Sonic characters that were not Sonic during the new Tragic High Zone event. Now, we've included some other games that may not have happened that would give Sonic and Metal Sonic a nice rivalry going, but the main game that this copy shows down with Sonic is Sonic CD. Developed alongside Sonic 2. In terms of how Sega themselves are presenting it these days, is considered to take place between Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, which makes no narrative sense whatsoever as far as I've explained just now. But also, it's very important to remember that that is my opinion. It's an opinion that you won't be able to change unless I get, like, a direct mail from... an email from, like, Naoto Oshima or, I forget his name, but he produced CD and Chaotix. So I just say that timeline is for the modern classic dimension. I'll explain what that means in a moment. But Sonic CD takes place on a... not really a satellite. It has a complementary orbit to Earth, and comes down to visit Earth every 11 months. And Eggman wanted to take over it for his own game, turn it into a polluted hellscape. And While this is certainly not the first time she encounters Sonic, this is when we're introduced to Amy. Makoto Shitani, yeah, that's the one. And Amy gets kidnapped by Metal, resulting in an epic race to the death to save her, and then thusly save Little Planet afterwards. The details of Little Planet, if you know, you know. We're not going to go over that, because it doesn't matter, apparently, at this point in the series. But Metal got stranded on there for a full 11 months until being recovered. But he had an appearance in Sonic Mania, which takes place between CD and 4. Using the power of the Phantom Ruby, Eggman was able to utilize his power. But that might not have happened in this timeline. Which is what I mean by the modern classic timeline. I'm thinking that what Sonic Origins did was gave us a timeline for Mania. I will speak no more about that until we get to Forces. Okay. This boss is, I mean, it's not hard as long as it keeps its legs open, but it is annoying. Okay. Only got one hit. Ooh! Oh! Voiced by my own petard. I didn't, like, say anything about the special stage while I was in the special stage. There's a very important factor I should have been talking about, and that was that we were in the Tornado 2. It's actually not as important as I thought it was, though. Because when I was thinking about it initially, I forgot that it appeared in Heroes. So, this is a good time to review a very important continuity in the Sonic games. Sonic's plane, the Tornado. Sonic has a plane! It's how he travels from South Island to West Side Island. Oh no! Of course, his plane is supposed to be red. And boy, did it have a lot of upgrades by Tails, our budding mechanic genius, over time, as it kept getting slightly damaged, until Adventure. Adventure is when the Tornado was fully destroyed, and replaced with the Tornado 2, Tails' own creation, that was powered by a Chaos Emerald. Since then, Tails made the Tornado 3, which not only was powered without Chaos Emeralds, but, it turned into a walker that you could shoot stuff with. That ended up being turned into a spaceship for the sake of getting back into space, which needed Chaos Emerald power. So, like, Tails was experimenting with, like, direct interfacing of Chaos Emeralds in machines before Eggman did it all. Well, that's not true. Sometimes the copy robots would... Sonic, I swear. I don't even know where I am now. I needed to go up. Oh, here we are. Very good. Okay. I can recover now. But one of the key factors with Tails' initial experiments with Chaos Emeralds on his planes is that they go haywire if you're not careful. Oh. So the Tornado 3 is no longer in use. Luckily, before that happened, Tails got the Tornado 2 working without a Chaos Emerald. Which is unfortunate, because that would make its use in this game really fucking cool if he hadn't done that. Because that would mean that the reason we can use them in special stages is because of the Chaos Emerald energy that powers it. But I guess we don't get to have that cool fact. Maybe that's what inspired it. Because here's the... like, Sonic Heroes just, like, does whatever. It's very inconsistent with the other games. Now let's get to that in the full recap. Hello, Naruto Sonic Gamer. That's... very telling username. I approve. Very cool. So I mentioned Sonic Adventure several times now. Wow. Did I just get Sonic 1 glitched? That was so cool. Like, not really, but, like, it was funny. Sonic 1 glitch is if you get hit by spikes twice in a row, you will just die. There's no invincibility. And apparently that's in this for those spikes. So Sonic Adventure... we had Sonic 4 directing right to Sonic CD. Sonic Adventure directs right to 3 and Knuckles. And starts off our little modern section. I'm trying to think if there's any specifics about it that relate to this game. But the core factor of that game is Eggman awakens Chaos, who was sealed within the Master Emerald, causing it to shatter and Angel Island to fall once more. Wait. That made everything useless? Okay. I've lost entire track of this stage. I think we're not going to get the Chows in this one. I think I missed a Chow. Oh. It also introduced Chow. Chaos is the Guardian Guard. The Guardian God of the Chow. But he had a bad day once when... and... not really ancient, but back in the day, civilization of Echidnas attacked the Chow that they were protecting for the sake of collecting the emeralds that were at his altar. And he used the power of those emeralds to just mess their entire several centuries up. But one Echidna princess took to stop this carnage sealed chaos in the Master Emerald, resulting in the altar and the surrounding land with the echidnas that still lived on it, ascending into the sky, where they have to guard the emerald and prevent anything like that happening again, as their atonement for what they did. Which is what resulted in Knuckles, the last of his people. But now Chaos was set free. And that's where we were introduced with the important concept of using the Master Emerald to negate the Chaos Emerald's powers. Which act are we on? We're on Act 2, right? Oh. Yeah, I wasn't even, like, just too in-depth in my explanation of random stuff there. I just forgot where all the Chow are. So, I don't know, we'll see how long just a regular beat-the-game run takes me. I need to change to Sonic, though. Because we have to unlock Amy. Amy, as I mentioned, introduced in Sonic CD, had her own first fully playable story in Adventure. Since then, she has been improving as a character, and also, depending on the writing, degrading as a character. So far, this game just like I said, like, the cutscenes in this don't have any plot to it. They just play back to the tropes of the characters. Now, Adventure ends with Chaos. But after Eggman was defeated and Chaos betrayed him, Chaos got all the emeralds and fought off against Supersonic. I don't think I mentioned Supersonic yet. The 7 powers together grant unlimited power, and Sonic can become super using that power. They can all become super, but for Hedgehogs specifically, apparently, they glow yellow like Saiyans. Oh, nuts. I'll fix this. The rings! The piggy bank! That is not equivalent exchange. Pigs, I swear. The enemy, like, this is what I mean that the level design in this is still rude. The enemy placement, the spike placement, it wants you to suffer. It is pure Sonic Advance. I don't think that was right. Nailed it. Yeah. Eggman has been trying to use the Chaos Emeralds for world domination this whole time, and as time goes on, it becomes less of a direct viability for him to do it, and more he needs to find some way to utilize those emeralds. Here's General. He gets faster with each battle. Okay. So starting with, like, Chaos, started using his grandfather's notes, who was a brilliant scientist and a very accomplished archaeologist before he started having to make military weapons. And discovered Chaos's history associated with the emeralds, and was trying to use that. The next step in that is also important because it introduces us to Chaos Control. His grandfather created the ultimate life form of his time, Shadow the Hedgehog. Another hedgehog. Amy's a hedgehog. I don't know if I specified that. Well, hello, Sonic. Amy. You're going to ask me out. No, I'm on my way to... I knew we were meant to be. Together? No, no such thing. Why don't you just admit it? Let's not use the hammer. This is what I mean by, like... It's just the tropes in this. I want to test something out, and if it doesn't work... Actually, no, I have too many lives to do that. So, I'm just gonna play as Amy for a couple stages. Because I do want to show how powerful she's become. Amy's whole thing originally is that she's not as fast as Sonic, she can't spin dash, she can't do a whole lot, but she's strong-willed and determined. At this point in the game, she's always had her hammer, but she is, like, the most powerful character in this game when she's paired up with Sonic. She has an air dash, she has a bunch of skills, she can spin dash now, she doesn't have a normal jump when she jumps, she has the spin jump. Sure did. And of course, when you hit hammers, you hit springboards with your hammers, you go flying. This boss sucks, though. It is entirely RNG. You just have to keep pushing it back. Even though she has this animation, she can damage enemies like a usual spin dash. There are 3 things that can come out of this box. And it might only do this one. There's also, like, a chain ball thing, and just a little celebration face. There it is. Okay. And that's the big killer of that boss, is if you get knocked, you can very, very easily get knocked into the pit and die. And all of your progress, this takes a good 2 minutes to do, is done at that point. There. If it just keeps doing this, it can go nice and fast. It does not just do that. We've never seen Super Amy before, but we should. Shadow also turns gold. The fun part about Shadow is that the reason he's a hedgehog at all was Gerald, Eggman's grandfather, was inspired by a mural in Angel Island that Eggman used to trick Knuckles into thinking that he was going to protect the Master Emerald, because it shows a glowing hedgehog either trying to save or hurt something holding the Master Emerald, which turned out to be Sonic. Which leads to a whole thing of Shadow and Sonic being considered to look identical, even though they really, really don't. Because they are based on the same concept, in like a universe sense. But Shadow's main feature is his ability to manipulate space and time with a Chaos Emerald. Initially with a Chaos Emerald. To either warp or slow down time around him. Warp through space. And that's called Chaos Control. The mechanics behind this specifically are pretty much the exact same thing as special stage rings, as we've seen throughout this game. And we've also seen throughout the series to go to a special stage to collect the Chaos Emerald. Now we see this. Shadow gets his own game. An alien invasion happens. He's part alien because Gerald used Black Doom to help complete the project when it went awry before. And Black Doom could just use Chaos Control normally, but the emeralds enhance its power. Now, what if you enhance the emerald's power? Apparently, you can shatter the goddamn world using it. As our good friend Eggman has done in this game. But that means you can also Chaos Control without it, which Shadow learned how to do at the end of... I don't think I was supposed to go down here. Oh no. At the end of battle. Because he and... Oh, I was. Okay. Cool. Emerald that Emerald is based on is another thing that Gerald worked on. And he and Shadow have the same soul modeled after Eggman's cousin, Shadow's favorite person, and Gerald's granddaughter, Maria. The most important dead person in this game, probably, in this series. Unless you consider Gerald to be. No, Sonic got the Chow, but not me. I can't get back up there. So that's what I kind of don't like about this pair-up, even though this is like the speedrun pair-up. Amy doesn't have her hammer jump in this, and she doesn't have a double jump like she does with Tails. And Sonic just boosts you forward. You can time it so that you can jump at that moment when you release the air one. I have never been able to pull it off. I don't know if it's due to controller lag for the emulator, which there is definitely some. Yeah. As I mentioned at the start, Sonic Heroes, Eggman started using a different power supply for his robots. The main plot of that was actually Metal Sonic's fucking pissed. No, I was gonna try and stop swearing so much. Oh well. Fuck that. Metal Sonic betrayed Eggman and gathered everyone together so he can destroy Sonic once and for all. That's pretty much the most of it. Without the fine details that are like Shadow's whole thing happening between games, because he has such a story going on. Okay. I need to switch to Tails and Sonic. Desperately. Because this game is just way too vertical. This is also the last game before the... that came out before the 4Kids voice acting switch that we heard in Shadow. And I didn't do Japanese. One, because I have the English cart, so like, it was my instinct. Is mainly for all those fun things that Eggman says when you hit him, and the whole "you're going to pay for this." Get that final Beam Bristow work. The speedrun for this stage is very interesting. Because you do skip most of it using a glitch that Amy can perform. Maybe I can... that lets you just, like, bypass the stage's boundaries. No! I could have made that if he didn't go underneath. There we go. Okay, the stage is kind of dumb. Because there's a loop you have to go go this way, and then... or where we want to go is a different route entirely. And I'm still collecting Chow as if it matters. It's just I know where the Chow are in this so specifically because I had to plot out my own route because I couldn't use the speedrunner for help. These stages are big and windy. No. So the characters we have mentioned so far are Sonic. He is fast. That is his thing. He is the fastest. So Shadow can keep up. Get out of the cart! How many times do I have to press jump? There's Tails. His whole thing is he has 2 tails that let him fly. He was teased and bullied for this on West Side Island, which I realize is probably less of a matter if he was a social outcast, like the way that they try to say it, and more of, hey, this kid's different. We're stupid kids that are a similar age, just like in school, let's bully him. There's probably more that thing, which kind of helped him not have the confidence to be like, I'm gonna stand up to myself, until he met Sonic, who was like, hey, don't fucking mess with this kid, he's real cool. And then Tails was able to keep up with his speed with his tails. And also he's really, really good at engineering. He's a mechanical genius. We got Knuckles. I pretty thoroughly explained what his deal is, but his abilities are, despite being an echidna, he can glide. And he also has Knuckles that let him climb. Where am I going? I have all the Chow, so I can just, like, blaze a trail, but I am not blazing anything. I might have gone, like, entirely backwards just now. Oh no, we're right here. It's just a windy stage. We have Amy. I said her deal pretty thoroughly too. I guess I didn't specify that her gimmick is that she's obsessed with Sonic, her hero. Because she's very impressed by his abilities, and also he did literally save her from Metal and Eggman. She makes a declaration to be more independent, and then for the next... not the next game, but the next, like, several after that, she just spends it chasing... Ooh! I didn't drown! She just spends it obsessing over Sonic in a very, very unhealthy way. And she kind of stops doing... I want to say, like... 7 games from now? I don't know how many there are next. She's pretty chill in Rush, actually, overall. So next game. Characters we didn't mention, that definitely exist, are Mighty, the Armadillo, and Ray, the Flying Squirrel, 2 of Sonic's friends from South Island. Mighty joins in on the Chaotix group that involves Knuckles, and then... Well, Mighty's thing is he's mostly impervious to things because he's an armadillo. He's also quite powerful, but he's also quite fast. Like, somewhere between... He's a perfect medium of Sonic and Knuckles in that sense, and then he's got the defense to back it up. Ray's thing is he can glide, because he's a flying squirrel. Then we also have Vector the Crocodile. He is large, enjoys music, And he starts a detective agency with Espio the Chameleon, who is a ninja, can change colors to turn invisible, and also climb up walls. Like, most characters can do something up walls. Sonic is a little, like, the most vertically challenged character in the series. But he's the least horizontally challenged character, so I guess give some loose on. He can wall run and double jump in later games, so he gets better. But he also gets better at running, too. I haven't been trying to get the Chao at all in this. Did I just fall to my death? There are so many pitfalls in this game! That's just advanced for you, actually. It's a very jarring difference from Fallen Star, which is the last thing I played. The second person that Espio and Vector made a thing with. Wait, okay, so if I'm being sent back up here, this is what I mean by windy. Like, I had to just go right here, and we're good. It took me in a full loop I could have just skipped, because I'm Tails. Charmy Bee, the honeybee, is small, is the fastest insect in the world, is a little shit jokester. Even though when we were introduced to him, he was very sophisticated. I have a headcanon for that. This boss is wild. I don't even think I should explain it. I'll just show you. I'll just say that the platforms don't fall until you jump, and that is not very clear the first time you play it. Come on. How long is it gonna stay there in midair? I think that's all the classic characters. There are some that we've never, like, actually seen in a canon game, so I won't really mention that. Then we have Cream, who is the next character we will unlock in this. You can see her in the side art with her Chao. That side art is based on Toy Kingdom and this stage. I don't remember the name. Oh. Did it. This was the biggest wall for me the first time I played this game. Cream is a baby. Her unique feature is her friend Cheese, the Chao. Cream and Cheese. She can also fly, like Tails, using her, big ol' ears. So the first two characters we have that... Three, never mind. Charmy came first, so... There are two characters we have that are not flying creatures that can fly. Charmy can fly too, of course. Charmy only flies. She was introduced in Advance 2, which takes place right before Adventure 1. We are so low on lives. Gotta get Knuckles back. We have Chaos, the Guardian of the Chao. I need to play as Knuckles. I just said that. Chaos's whole thing is they're made of water, which is the base of what most living things are made of, and also much more so what Chow are made of. But this is like, I can shapeshift and manipulate my body type made of water, and with each emerald transform into a new form with the more power I have. I went the wrong way. Did I? No. Please, let me move forward. This is what I mean by this game is both sticky and slippery at the same time. I might have went the wrong way there. Oh. Oh no. No, I'm good. We're good. I got distracted. I'm just bopping to the music right now. We have Shadow. Shadow's the ultimate life form, and a hedgehog. He's very similar to Sonic, but he has rocket shoes, and he's the coolest. He said so himself. His introduction got him called Faker, because he's so similar to Sonic. Wouldn't be the first Faker. I mentioned Metal Sonic. I forgot to continue mentioning other copies that Eggman made. There have been renditions of a Tails doll and a Mecha Knuckles that aren't in any, like, truly canon games, but there is a mechanical Knuckles that... Okay, you're just gonna kill me, aren't you? I ain't just like that. Early. Oh my gosh, please. No! Okay, we're good. We're good. Just gonna ricochet real quick. I don't know why it doesn't want to give me speed there. At the very end, but it can, like, kill you by just sending you up into space. Also, I think it's probably important for me to note, we're in cyberspace right now again. This is basically the high contrast, the day mode of Techno Base in Advance 2. It's a very bright cyber space. You can just go into cyberspace in this. It don't matter. It's just like special stages. We hacked computers to get emeralds several times. I was gonna switch to Sonic. And Tails. Oh well. Knuckles don't mind. Probably the most important character we did not mention is Rouge. She is a bat. She is a master thief. She is also a government agent, which is a fantastic combination. She is our fourth character that can fly, because she is a bat. Hello there. I think ooh, very important character we didn't mention is Big the Cat. Big is exactly what his name sounds like. His whole thing is hanging out with his pal Froggy and fishing. He's got life on lock. He's the most well-adjusted character in this entire series, and that's saying something because, like, Sonic isn't, like, poorly adjusted. He's doing great. So with that, if I mention Omega, who is the final egg robo of the E100 series, that is all of the characters that are playable in Sonic Heroes. In this we have Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Cream. And then, if you add Shadow and Rouge onto that, you have the story characters in battle, which is where Emerald, who Gemerald is based on, is a significant story factor. Cream and Blaze are also two of my favorites. I can't wait for next week when we throw Blaze into this mix. I am so ready for Sonic Rush. It is one of my most anticipated streams of this series. I need to be Sonic for this. I have to game over real quick. Excuse me. Not that I was, like, going the right direction anyway. But this might be the fastest direction to die. Yeah. You take too long. This is actually very good pace for me to have pretty much finished summarizing the whole of the series. Because we are on the last stage before, like, the plot starts to pick back up for this game. Of course that happened. And I've only gotten one Chaos Emerald, which is pretty much how I expected this to go, because as I've said before, my performance on stream decreases by about 70. My gaming performance decreases to about 70%. Oh, right. Well, okay. Okay, sir. I'm doing this very poorly. So once again, I'll just recap where we are here. So, one of the weirdest subplots of the last several games is the energy source for Eggman's robots. That is weirdly consistent despite how the games were released. So, utilizing his knowledge of Chaos Emerald power in machines, of Chaos control, of the rings being a byproduct of the Emerald's power, Eggman... now, let's remind ourselves, after battle, pretty much all of the emeralds were in shards. The Master Emerald was in pieces. Knuckles had to have fixed that by now. Eggman found at least one emerald and completed all of its shards together. And he enacted on this experiment using Chaos Control to distort the entire world into 7 parts that are not very well represented in this game. I could just... okay, good. Tails got that thing. It's taken me so long that it would have... that I almost skipped the chow, first of all. Okay. That was the wrong way. And while the world is in this state, Eggman is able to power his robots with standard power rings, much like he did in Chaotix. Except now they're real and not artificial. It's incorrect. Yeah, I'm not supposed to be on this side of gravity. I'm not gonna try to do this fancy. Maybe I should. Nope. I shouldn't have done it fancy. And so Sonic, Tails, and most importantly collecting Knuckles along the way, as well as Amy, and after this stage is done, I'm at the end of it, Cream, set off to undo what Eggman did to the world. Okay, we have to do it fancy because I messed up the normal way. By, heading to Angel Island and using the Master Emerald. They can't get to Angel Island very easily because of the way the world is separated. It's also possible that Angel Island is now in the sky again because of this effect. So that makes it a little harder to get to as well. And all of the emeralds are whole again, as we should be collecting them. And the Cream's just in cyberspace. Hey Cream. Long time no see, Sonic. She said the thing. What are you doing here? Taking a walk through a cheese. But we're lost. Where even is this? This area isn't safe, let's go. Okay, let's go, Cheese. Like, how did she get here? It makes me, like, if this world has to be separated into 7 pieces, I don't think her area would be that far from, whatchamacallit, from the Station Square area that we played in Route 99. Unless it's not that area. Again, though, none of the plot to this game is in the actual game. Except that Eggman has a new robot based on Emerald. I keep going the wrong way. Oh wait. While I'm here, we're gonna change to our final team. Because it's the team that I like the most, that I can do the most with. So I've got the air dash now and homing attack. Also, Cream's tag action is very useful. For one, you can get cheese. To be a Sonic Chow. For other, you can jump very high. But we are on to perhaps the most chaotic boss in the game. I don't know if this helps, does it? You have to hit these back at Eggman. You just fire wherever. They will prioritize hitting you when they're going very fast, though. If you don't hit them from the right angle. It just happens. Now we are on to the final zone, which is Angel Island. But it is in Chaos. Not Chaos the character or the Emeralds, but like... Actually, yes, it is in Emeralds Chaos, because it's in a special stage distortion. So it's called Chaos Angel. And it's very apparent from this view. This is... I mean, it looks like it could be in the sky, but who knows? There's two things in the sky. I don't know if that's supposed to be a moon and the sun, or if that's supposed to be special stage dimension stuff. The moon was blasted in Sonic Adventure 2, if we recall, and its several appearances since then have been whole, so I have a theory that there are two moons. But I have a worse theory to that could be overridden at any point if the developers decide to include it again. What if that moon that looked like a dried husk, let's be real, what if that was Little Planet just coming back to give Earth a visit, and Eggman blasted it? And it's in a state that looks like the moon, because, well, Eggman had to do something to get the energy to come back after Sonic 4, right? Why am I doing this? I meant in, like, I had an easier way to do that than I was doing. Love it. Now, this level design, like, right down to the symbolism, there's very much a feel of, what is it, Sandopolis? Because you have hieroglyphics on these walls. It's a little greener, though. As other parts of Angel Island are. Also, the... Ooh, oh. Green? Can we not? I guess we cannot. Lots of pitfalls in this game. Back to the start. Cool. Okay. Those pillars particularly remind me of Green Hill. This all kind of changes once we use the Master Emerald to fix things. There's definitely the hint of the, like, more Mayan architecture from Adventure. There's sand mechanics, bring back to Sandopolis. Cease. There's a chow around here, actually, that I forgot. Just make sure. No? Okay. Like, it doesn't matter, but it would be fun if I got the last emerald. Ooh, wait. Okay, never mind. I was thinking a different area. I think I only got one chow so far, so I must have missed one. No, never mind. Oh, come on. Fun part about Cream's air action. This is where I was figuring the game would destroy me. It's Chaos Angel. If you are falling down fast enough, the tag action will actually launch you down. The momentum of where it launches you depends entirely on your momentum. Why? Ah, what? What just happened? Why was that thing rolling already? Uh-oh. Oh, the stream curse has started. I'm wondering what those structures in the far back are. Is there pillars similar to the close ones? The song cog is here. Do your thing. Why aren't you rolling? You're gonna kill me and then not? I'm like confident that I'm missing a Chow down here. I don't know where it is. But maybe I'm not. Gee, Cream, we've been over this. Glad you can be here, even if just for lark. I have reached the point where I have said all of the excess that I planned to like really buffer an explanation for this stream. We are at the end. If things just like don't screw me over. Maybe I should note about the specific badniks, because we see spinners. We haven't seen them lately, because what Eggman has been using lately is mostly the egg pawns, the E1000 series. But it's more of the classic animal style in this. Okay, just do that, sure. Okay, just go ahead and restart. Eggman's original... sort of to match the fact that they're powered by animals, he designs his robots after animals. I don't know if there's like a compatibility reason for that. That's still what the ones powered by plants and rings were like. By 3 he started making mechs in his visage. Yes. Like, aside from his the ones he pilots, he has a whole series of death egg robots. He started making the egg robos. And these were always like a stronger, more side thing. For the original ones, for the E100s. The E1000s were the first ones that became very mass-produced. And interestingly enough, that was during the time that Metal was impersonating him, and forward into Shadow the Hedgehog, he just sort of kept using them. Until he sort of didn't in, Battle for his Chaos Emerald Energy experiments. He was using E100 style egg robos based off of Gamma, which is a playable one that was playable before Omega. Okay, be fancy and it doesn't matter. No, okay. That was very bad. Hey, are we gonna have a fast-forward segment for the VOD here? I'm trying to fill it in with stuff, but... And the original Egg Robos that were in 3 were very much after Eggman's original design. E100's past E100 Alpha, which was a sort of like test type that floated and captured, were more after his modern design, particularly Gamma, who was red, while the others were different colors. So Gamma was the one who, being the most effective one, was the base model for the later Egg Robos that showed up in Sonic Adventure 2, and then in Battle, where one was actually called Chaos Gamma. But the Egg Pawns are... they're squat and orange. They're actually kind of big. Their size changes throughout the series, but like they're pretty chunky. And the bigger alternatives of them, I'm not sure what the actual sign names for those are, start to mimic more of the Egg Emperor, which was the Death Egg style, Robo-style boss used in Heroes. There's one in this too, it's very big. Okay. See, every other time that sent me the other direction. That's the first time that hit from that spinner has ever done that to me. I don't have, like... I don't have, actually, like, a way to skip these without skipping the first ending I want to do. I want to do both endings of this. There's not, like, a good and a bad ending. There's a good ending and a friend ending, or a friending, if you would. That's only like halfway through that stage, too. It's a long stage. These are very long stages. I guess 70% performance equals incapable of doing that stage. So other than the E1000s, we actually did see the E2000s, which don't look like eggs at all at that point. They're just Gundams, honestly. So I wonder if that was actually... if that was Metal's doing. If you could. Thanks. One of the key control issues I have in this is... aim this way. There's a lot of need to make somewhat slow turns and jump immediately afterwards. This will not allow that jump to happen. It will at best delay it. I'm in the wrong place. Oh, that was the right place. Ooh, damage boost, hell yeah. Oh, please, just work. Oh my god. Okay. I have fully given up on getting the Chow now. There's no getting back up there. Oh. These open areas are so stressful. You're telling me that was a pitfall? Area entirely? That is cruel. No. Okay. We can do this cool style. Oh, goodness. Yeah, from this point on, we see more of a combination of the animal robots and the egg pawns, mostly to appease that throwback style. Also, I wonder if part of the reason we stopped seeing egg robos or egg pawns for a bit is they're not compatible with animals yet. They were only compatible with that alternative energy source that we don't have an explanation for through Heroes in Shadow. Oh, that was actually pretty sweet movement. But they will be animal compatible, the egg pawns. Now, if I were a Stylin speedrunner, the team I'd want to use for this one is Tails and Amy. Because Tails has fantastic flight when paired with Amy. It is extremely dangerous to do. So, this is what I do to be safe. I hold the baby and hope for the best. It is all just these platforms, too. And there's nowhere to really stand otherwise, except for the intermediate parts. But you can, like, stand on the very corners where the spikes are. So proper placement there with Tails, powered with Amy's stuff. Also, Tails gets a hammer at that point, so we can just smack enemies out of the air. For how little action this is, I am extremely focused right now. Cool, okay. So 2 and 3 actually gave us almost no problem, except for missing the Chow in the second one. So maybe we can make this work. What's confusing me is I'm pretty sure I can go a different route than this. If there isn't, like, a Chow to get right here. So, I'm a little confused. Can I, like, get it and not realize it? It's not like that's the best route. Otherwise. But it's the Chow speedrun. Maybe it's just faster if you're a speedrunner. I mean, I guess technically I am a speedrunner now. But not for this game, that's for sure. Don't be fooled by what you're seeing right now. There's just a reason I'm playing this series. Hey, we did it without dying. Okay. There's supposed to be a Chow there. What's going on? That's genuinely two areas where I'm positive there's supposed to be a Chow, but there isn't. If we can find the third one here, and I'm just going insane, and I've been doing inefficient routes. Oh no, we definitely missed one. I went the route that had it. Oh boy, oh boy. We're at the end of the stage here, and there's a reason it's the end of the stage. There would have been a key right here too. No! Why did you do that? Sonic, please! I wasn't even in midair. That was kinda cool, but it was awfully timed. Oh. I do hate seeing a zero down in the corner. Oh. Please. Be kind. This is so stressful. Okay. If we were about a half an hour earlier, which would have been around where we were with at least less troubles, I'd have tried to go back and get some more Chaos Emeralds, but that ain't me right now. So we have a very awful boss here to fight that will take us several tries, I am certain. The mechanics that are, like, going through this tube is very weird. it simultaneously accelerates you and decelerates you, depending on what you're doing. Oh boy. Eggy. Eggy boy. I didn't ask for this. Hey, we did it in one shot! I don't know how. But we sure did. Let's head to the Emerald Altar. It feels like I've definitely, like, forgotten something to say about the story, and that's not true. Like, it's just everything's so haphazardly brought together by, like, needing to know everything that had happened before this, for it to, like, be more than just what is at face value. Good job, Cream. There he goes. That Master Emerald looks pretty together. Good job, Knuckles, I guess. Back here, Green. Oh. I've never gotten hurt by one of those before. Okay, sure. Why not? Wait, yes. It's its own evil big ring. I pressed A twice, didn't do shit. I mean, I know I failed from, like, the very first stream to try and make this, like, a family-friendly situation. I do go for PG-13. When I play a game that does the buttons that I press, that's when I say the least swearing. But also, swearing is just... that's just vocabulary. If you don't overuse it, it has meaning. Which is always my situation for this. And in terms of keeping it PG-13, y'all know what middle schoolers say. Surprised that didn't hurt. Oh, that's interesting. I got the final hit. But it continued to finish the attack first.
You're going to pay for this! Ow!
A little throwback to Sonic 1. Let's get back to the other gang over at the Emerald Altar. That's a noise. Wow. That sounds awful with headphones on. Flicky's got a blue sky that doesn't look weird. You've got more greenery instead of the weird glyphs. Which still looks like platforms, but here's a cool little transition between like 2D stages and like the nature that is otherwise around in this picture. Who knows who took this picture? But yeah. Now I'm going to... That's the good ending. Now we have all the emeralds. Let's get the friending. You can only get the friending if you have Sonic in the lead, which is natural. It's a supersonic stage, as you would expect. Weird. Oh, where'd my rings go? Didn't even collect any. So you'll never guess who you team up with for Supersonic.
You're going to pay for this!
There's an obvious guess, and it's not the right answer. Now, of course, if you're basing this robot on something that uses emeralds, it's got to be able to use the emeralds itself. This is not what happened to Emerald when it got all the emeralds, though. Get up, bitch. Non-aggression. Sonic and Eggman. Sonic, use your tag action and perform an attack with me. Great and lovable Eggman. Oop, I didn't even see that. Sort of has the same technology as the Advanced 2 one. Okay, I messed that up. You can get in there beforehand if you're, you know, competent at the game. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, this boss music is a remix of Emerald's theme, which is nice. Before it started doing this version of it. Much more. Oh, okay, that's it. Apparently, I don't know what space they were in. They hadn't fixed the distortion yet, so it was sort of like a combination of space and special space, subspace, whatever you want to call it. Apparently, I think what was implied there was Tails was pointing out Eggman dropped Sonic off after he lost consciousness. Here we go. Yeah. None of the dialogue in the game itself has any bearing on anything. It's so funny. I literally did not know the Chaos Emerald experiment plot for the longest time, and yet I considered this like my favorite Advance game. I'm not so sure now. It's sort of... Advance 2 is way more consistent, though it's still so tricky. And this one is like... There's parts I like more about it. I love the tag system. Particularly because then I get to play as all characters at once. So Gemerald, Gemerald is how it's spelled. Apparently sorta survived and washed up on the shore nearby where Cream and Vanilla live. So they get Tails to fix it up. And the cheese helps. And this is, this is very appropriate considering Cream was devastated after Emerald died. So here they are, a robot built in Emerald's vision that is able to live life not as a war machine, as they wanted Emerald to. Unfortunately, there is not a single game after this that Emerald shows up, or Gemerald shows up in. And I hate that. Even just like as a side notion, like I'll have at least one place where I'm just like, so imagine that Gemerald is here. I have some thoughts about Frontier that, like, still cautious about that game at all, but there could be a place for Gemerald to show up in that if it's gonna do what I think it might do. I don't think it's gonna do that overall. I don't have a lot of confidence in Sonic Team's narrative these days. Which is it all goes right back to the whole purpose behind this series being called It Doesn't Matter. They never tried to be consistent about that. They've always tried to have the games to be self-contained, but referential to each other. And, like, there's a lot of things that just... I can't speak for them myself, for the original creators. It just, like, things connected in a way that could not have been foreseen in like the original games, that are so disconnected from how it's presented that current fans completely disagree with how I see it. And part of the reason they disagree, like, this is because that's what Sega says now. I'm talking about the placement of Sonic's CD between 1 and 2. I'm never gonna accept that personally. You don't just lose the super peel out the next day. You may lose it a year later when you have a homing attack, sure. I really wish all 3 of the advanced games had the super peel out in it. I love that ability. It's so useful in certain ways. This game has 2 versions of it. I didn't show you Amy's version of it because you have to pair with Knuckles, but her spin dash action becomes a peel out. And anytime I use the tag action with Sonic as my partner, that's basically it's the same effect. It's the tag dash. You just don't have to charge it. It's full from the start. So I have to really wonder what Eggman's feeling after this game, because it's almost like he needs a break. And if it weren't for a very specific encounter in the next game, he might have just given up world domination. Oh, baby. It's like when my niece does anything that she might think hurts. Just like in Japanese media, if you trip, you cry. Even when you're like 10 years old. Sonic Advance 3 end. What time do we have? Okay, so to make up for not getting the Chaos Emeralds, I'm gonna get the Chaos Emeralds. And I'll show you what I mean by that. If I can remember the order. Let's see. Yep. Special stage mode. Let's do all the special stages in a row. Because we need more of the Tornado 2 before we never see it again. There's no actual reason we never see it again. We just never see it again. Which is, again, why I feel like not having it exist in Heroes the way it did, if that was just the Tornado 3 instead, which we know got repurposed into a spaceship. And the reason we can use the Tornado 2 in this is because it is, it is powered by Chaos Emeralds, so that Chaos Emerald energy allows it to work in a special stage. That would make sense. Like, Tails is building a new plane, perhaps. That's why we haven't seen another plane. He is building a new plane. Not exactly new. It's just a different version of an older plane. But we don't see it until Rush Adventure. But we'll see it a lot afterwards. There's only one game where there's a plane where we don't see it afterwards. Even though it gets destroyed again. There's our Bixbite. So as I have said multiple times throughout this stream series, one of my favorite things about the consistent coloring of Chaos Emeralds, which is a big reason why it's a litmus test for me about whether a game is canon or not, is that emeralds come in every single color the Chaos Emeralds come in. They are not just green, it's just that's the only time when emeralds are called emeralds. Because emeralds are green beryl. There is a name for every single color of Chaos Emerald. Even though the one we just picked up, the red beryl, kinda sucks because it's confused with another gemstone, Bixbite, confused with Bixibite, which were both named by the same geologist. Thanks for that, I guess. It's also why it's important to me that the basis of it is Sonic 3's gems. They sort of didn't have it like fully planned out by Sonic 2, because one was more purple, because they introduced the aquamarine. But they had the colors down perfect in Sonic 3, which is when the Emerald lore really started to kick off. The blue one here is called Mashixe. That's spelled M-A-X-I-X-E. You could pronounce it the way you might instinctively with that, but it's awful. It's not wrong, it's just awful. I really like these special stages. They get hard, which is naturally, and it's frustrating when you're trying to rush to get them complete so that you can have a save file ready for a stream. But overall, they're very learnable, even. The problem is just you need to collect more keys through stages if you want to keep doing attempts. But mechanically speaking, like, it's very different from Advance 2's, sure, but they fixed the biggest problem with Advance 2, which is ring radius. Like, Sonic's out here with his arms spread, ready to grab some stuff. You can grab these rings. You don't have to hit them directly onward. If you gave Sonic 2's special stages this ring radius, it would probably be good special stages. They are way too hard without it. That's how we know specifically it's Tornado 2. It's not like there's like really anything to say otherwise except that the Tornado 3 exists, and people don't fully understand the Tornado 3 and what it transforms into. The Cyclone was different sometimes. It has a very distinct transformation mode. We just got the yellow. The yellow-orange emerald. Which is Heliodor. And perhaps the type of emerald color they like to duplicate the most, because games outside of the main line really love to make both an orange and yellow emerald. Sometimes they like to have two yellows and an orange, such as in Triple Trouble. Which is just upsetting to me. Those things can be very tricky because, like, their bullets don't exactly correlate with where they are. As you can see, I killed it, and then further down it hit me. Which I guess is the double sword of having such a large ring radius. You have a large hit radius, too. Oh no. Got it. There it is, the one in green. The emerald itself. The emerald. I am mostly doing this to show, like, yes, there's no reason I can't get the emeralds aside from finding a bunch of Chow hidden in a stage. Which is very... like, it isn't nearly as bad as the special rings in Sonic Advance 2. That's hell on wheels. I don't know why it's on wheels, I just kind of said a thing. but it's still tricky. You still have to explore the stages. You have to memorize it if you're trying to do it all in one run. I thought I had it fairly memorized, but there are some stages I just completely didn't get anything in. And there are some where, like, if I just go find one in the stages, then we'd be good. So it's one of the reasons that this game takes so long casually. Because, like, the first time you're playing it, you have to... First off, you have to get used to the controls, because no other Sonic game plays like this. Like, not exactly. It is a weird amalgam of Advance 2 and, like, the idea of classic Sonic, but not really the implementation of it. So it feels sticky, but it also feels good in a way. There's a slightly different feeling between speed, flying, and power types. Okay. The previous one we got was a white emerald. That is Goshenite. I know, like, the first time I played Advance 3, that was a lot... Here, the difference between Advance 3 and Advance 2 in that sense, because, like, having to practice and get good to get all of the emeralds in that is also a reality. That feels unfair in Advance 2, because it is very technique-based, and it also does not explain its mechanics at all. There's, like, even with just testing out the buttons, there are some mechanics in this that you really have to explore to find. But, like, the setup of the game makes it somewhat intuitive to try and find it. Oh, please. Okay, I'm not gonna get this. I'm actually not gonna get this. I know I had trouble on this last time, but I had it down. I did it twice in a row. There we go. Still not gonna get it. Unless I get this and get every single one. Nope, I still need 11 more. Bad. Okay. Does try again go from the start? Or from... It goes from the start. Okay, I'm not doing this anymore. Okay. We're done. We are done with that. Okay, we didn't go over this time. We're like perfect stream timing this time. I love it. Which is good because I don't have much left in me right now. Next week, we will start Sonic Rush, which is the beginning of a 4-game saga. We will be playing 3 of those games. Rush, Rush Adventure, and Rivals 2. Rivals 1 isn't enough of a game to justify playing it, but Rivals 2 certainly is. And I'll also explain what's just all of the weird stuff that's been happening at Sonic Team at that time when that was happening. Because there's a lot. We're gonna go over more than 3 games in this span at least. So until then, goodbye.